Morning, Mr. Chang. You were born
Morning.
in Singapore, so could you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I was born in Singapore back in 1968. I grew up in Singapore for the first 18 years of my life. At the time, unfortunately, Singapore was going through a bit of a recession, and unfortunately, my father's business was badly affected. And as a result, thankfully for my mother's side of the family, my mother's side of the family decided that the future of our family was better perhaps in Australia, and threw a lifeline over to us, and we took it and became Australian citizens, and we never looked back.
You have a little history relating back to the Singapore's Prime Minister. I think I read something about that back in your profile.
Singapore's Prime Minister.
Yeah, Benjamin Sheares.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Yes.
This is that's embarrassing. It was quite interesting. Fate of fortune, I suppose. When I was born, well, when I was being born, at the time it wasn't President Sheares. It was actually Professor Sheares, Professor Benjamin Sheares, and he was highly recommended. My uncle, who was also a doctor, and my mother at the time did not know who to turn to with regards to an OBGYN and gynecologist, and Professor Sheares at the time happened to be one, and a very highly recommended one. And so he was the one, Professor Sheares at the time, helped my mother give birth to me. So I can actually lay claim that a beloved Singapore president helped to deliver me into the world. So and we've since being born, my family, myself and I, and Professor Sheares had kept in contact from time to time, because in fact, funny enough, where he lived, outside of the Istana, where he lived was only about 5-10 minutes away. So it was quite nice to keep in touch with him while he was president and while he was alive with us.
Can I also say that he has been a role model for you in your life?
He has had some influence, yes, in that the way how he, when he was president, how he kept the majesty of the position, the importance of the position of president, how he related to Singaporeans, how he communicated with Singaporeans, and how he set an example for all Singaporeans. Those were things which I still remember to this day. How he always came across as this very kind and approachable man. Very learned, obviously, but it was that ability to immediately gain trust with the people. And so it came to no surprise when unfortunately, when President Sheares had died, there were days and days of queues outside of the Istana, queuing up to pay the people's respect to him, and it was very moving. It was very sad, but no surprise that he had become such a beloved president.
You have been in business for many years. How is your past experience helping you in your present position, and have you set any goals for yourselves all this?
Sure. I suppose the goals are constantly changing, because I think back in my father's and maybe my grandfather's time, goals were set that you could achieve them in one lifetime. Today, goals are changing because the speed of life and the technology is always changing, and so you're always reassessing every few years whether A, you've achieved that goal, or B, is that goal too high or too low, or reasonable or unreasonable. So for me, every year these goals are, for me, it's always changing. For me, my personal goals actually is to serve the people of Australia, in some capacity. Currently, as you know, I'm one of the elected members on the City Council in Parramatta. Parramatta happens to be the third, Parramatta happens to be the sixth largest CBD in the country. It is the de facto capital of the third largest economy in Australia, and it is the second largest city, CBD, in the city of the greater Sydney of Sydney. From here, I've served on the City Council for the last almost 10 years come this September, and I'll be putting my hat in the ring to serve as the Deputy Lord Mayor in September. I hope to be elected, and who knows what happens after that from a political standpoint. God will know about that. As far as commerce is concerned, yes, I'd still very much like to get back into my technology roots. My background, I have a degree in computing science. I started the traditional approach of systems analyst and technical boffin, and I moved sideways to more policy work. So I was very much involved in Australia's national and international standard setting with regards to IT security. And then I moved on to telecommunications, and another sidestep. So I would very much like to get back into my technology and telecommunications roots. Yeah.
That's really good. What steps have you taken to achieve the success you have attained till to date?
I suppose being an ex-Singaporean and a fellow Asian as well, hard work is something which is just synonymous with us. I don't mean to perpetuate the mythology, but I think we tend to put in much more hours than anybody else. We are constantly working at odd hours of the day and night, and even the weekends as well. Hard work is one vital ingredient. The other vital ingredient also that I've also learned, say for example, even from President Cheer's perspective, is the ability to work with others, to understand how others work and learn from others. That's probably the most important thing. How do you learn from others? And success breeds success. That's one of the things I've always kept in the back of my mind. So you surround, if wherever possible,